every week where there is a ton of stories that you may have missed. We try to do a recap video to keep you up to date, everything that is US soccer. There was a lot of crazy stuff that happened last week, but to start, Captain America has been continuing his run of crazy form. He had another ridiculous goal. But that's not the story. The story is that Pulisic was bullied from taking two penalties in the match against Fiorentina, even though it seems that he was the man selected for it, which you would have thought would go to the person who's never missed one before. No, that's not what happened. His teammates in the middle of the game decided, no, you're not taking any penalties today. And they missed both of them. Afterwards, there was a couple statements about that it's his to take, he's the penalty man. But if you're Christian Pulisic, you can't get bullied here. Part of being an elite player is not allowing the, hey, no, American guy, you're not taking any penalties today, to not be a thing. So while he may be an elite player for his play, he also has to grow into that role as a mature, seasoned veteran. There also was a story last week that because Inter Miami won the Supporter Shield, that they had received the last spot in the Club World Cup. You may remember the Club World Cup. It was a pretty undervalued thing, which is crazy because it's the only thing that really allows you to judge leagues. Last year, they decided to make a new format. 32 teams instead of just the winners of the Continental Federation we're going to play, with the host country getting one of those spots. Well, the U.S. is the host country. There's been a lot of host country business going on with the U.S. Now, these rumors turned out to be untrue. FIFA had not selected anyone for the last spot. But the question had already been raised, and people began to become a little upset that there was no clear guidelines given to be selected for this last spot. This could all work itself out. If Inter Miami win the MLS Cup, there's not much really anyone can say. But as you've seen in that match versus Columbus Crew, Wilfried Nancy has created a powerhouse in the MLS. Cucho is by far one of the best players and is a point maestro, a goals, assist, followed by a solid team. So people who follow that team think that their club deserves a shot. And it sounds like FIFA might give that to them. But to be honest, either one of these teams are excellent representations of US soccer at the moment. There's a lot of crazy changes that I don't like what's going on in Champions League. But the Club World Cup is an opportunity for CONCACAF teams to compete on a world stage, and I think it's at a perfect time. It seems that the playing field is leveling amongst world soccer. You could see it in Champions League, you could see it everywhere, with teams you might never have heard of competing on a bigger scale. So no matter who is chosen, I'm getting behind them. Now, what dominated most of the week's news was Pochettino selecting his first call-up roster, and there was no surprises. It was the same exact core group, but a lot of people said, hey, look, at least he could evaluate them himself with his own eyes, which I don't really know how that's different than seeing their body of work, but hey, we'll see what happens. Where a lot of people were hoping for a little movement was with the roster. Diego Luna is the best example of this. He is a young MLS star who domestically has had a lot of success, and we were really hoping for him to get a call-up during the Olympics, which he was snubbed. What everyone thought was unfairly, especially when he's doing stuff like this every week. And if you follow D1 soccer, you've been in for a ride. It's probably the league with the most upsets in all of soccer. Week after week, game after game, upset after upset, which just makes me happy because it goes to show how competitive formats for soccer that we have in this country, and it's been super exciting. From there, the MLS Next Pro playoff bracket and schedule has been released, and the USL is also getting into playoffs here soon. So a lot of big things happening in US soccer, which we will keep you updated on. Also, if you have anyone you think that you'd like to see us interview or be on our podcast, tag them below and we'll try to get them on. So